this game, we are going to see some more standard gameplay, I hope. These, well, most of these picks I say are pretty standard. Cho'Gath Mint is interesting. Not that it's bad or anything, but I do anticipate a pretty standard game here, which is exciting. I've seen quite a bit of cheese in recent times, and it's kind of disheartening to cast cheese. Not that I hate casting cheese or anything. I actually think like cheese strats could be pretty innovative, and it's actually really fun because it does shake up the monotony. But once you see so many cheese comps, or otherwise like, it's a very wide definition of cheese. It doesn't even have to be anything troll. It just has to be, non-conventional strats. And I consider a lot of things to be unconventional. Things like enchanter solo laning or funneling or any sort of early aggression or just junglers who don't farm. And I've seen a ton of those in just recent games. People trying to be creative, not playing standard. At first it was really exciting, and I feel at first it's not fair. It still is really exciting, but I've seen enough of those fall flat on his face, and then the game just turns into a complete crap fest, and it's just people feeding all over the place. Because if your cheese ever falls apart, you just feed.
Minions have spawned.
But maybe this won't be one of those games. Let's enjoy some good, clean League of Legends. No blows below the belt. Urgot top against Vladimir top. Elise mid, Elise in jungle. Two very aggressive early game junglers. So at least that's something exciting to watch, unless both players play super passively. Speaking of aggression, here we come a Scuttle in the river, level 1. Ignite's already blown on Miss Fortune. Miss Fortune's gonna flash away. Ashe is gonna chase after her first blood. Easy kill. And Miss Fortune gets set back so far, but Lee Sin is gonna find the Ashe in his own jungle. One more kick will do it. He does get it. Ooh, the Ashe gets set back equally as much. But it is a first kill versus a first assist. Miss Fortune does have Strut. And Ashe did unfortunately die. So Miss Fortune died first, and she has Strut. So she's gonna make it back to lane first. And that's actually a very, very noticeable difference right there. Miss Fortune's gonna make it back to lane so much faster. This matters early on. It just means that one person gets slightly more EXP. Miss Fortune is probably guaranteed to win level 2 here. Good response by the Lee Sin to come resolve that early first blood, but I won't fault the I don't think I will fault that early flash. It was probably, at least in hindsight, the correct play. Like, even in hindsight, the correct play there. Getting that first blood is pretty valuable. If anything, the support probably should have been closer to try to cover the Ashe's retreat, but it's hard to decide. I do think the fashion was correct. Actually, speaking of level 2, I was totally wrong on that count. Ashe somehow makes it back and doesn't actually lose in CS. Both of them caught that mini wave, which I'm so surprised that they did, because the supports have been slapping that wave forever. You think that Zillion will do a better job setting it up, but here comes some more aggression. Miss Fortune, she's still level 1, and she just dies again. Nautilus picks it up, but here comes the Lee Sin. He's going to pay another visit to the bot lane. This Q, if it lands, it will be death, but it doesn't land. Ashe does pick up a bomb stuck to her, but it's all fine. No bad things happen to bot lane. And they're gonna kill Miss Fortune. She's still level 1. Oh, that's painful. Here comes the Elise. She's gonna find the Vladimir. No cocoon. Vladimir's gonna walk away unscathed. Urgot is such an interesting pick into the Vladimir. In theory, this is not a lane the Vladimir loses, but it's also very hard for a Vlad to kill an Urgot. And in terms of early pressure wise, Urgot doesn't do the most damage early game. He really wants to be a higher level so his shotgun needs can cool down much faster. But if you're just comparing early game damage between these two champions, Urgot definitely wins. Vlad does have a pool to tide him over for most aggression. Phase Rush are going to get him out of there. But every time he does do that, he's going to lose a significant chunk of health. And early on, he just doesn't have the means to sustain it. Oh, he's going to lose that cannon too. Oh, that sucks. There's actually such a huge mini wave too. Urgot can just crash wave after wave into Vlad. And Vlad can't effectively farm all of it. He's going to lose so much here. But really, if Vlad just stays alive, gets some CS, he has a real chance of eventually, at one point in the game, probably punch through the Urgot. If he falls too far behind, either in the CS department or he gets solo killed one too many times, it's over. Yeah, I don't think Vlad can get strong fast enough to contest an Urgot's mid-late game presence. Because really, once the Urgot gets to a point, all you have to do is hook someone, flash into the team fight, and you just won it. You can just stand still for the rest of it and let your W do the work. Shotgun needs. Oh no, he can't farm. Vladimir actually has a CS lead. Ah! He did lose quite a bit of minions to that tower, but not too important. There is some brutal zoning going on down here as well. Miss Fortune can barely walk up. She bought a call. Why? Why? Oh, Vladimir's gonna go aggressive. That's a kill. Urgot doesn't have the mana to E, so the Hemo Plague will kill him. Vladimir actually gets the solo kill. Wow, okay. I've played both matchups here. I played Urgot a few times. Well, a few of them were against Vlad. And I played Vlad into a lot of different matchups as well. I don't think Urgot should die in this matchup solo. Something must have gone horribly wrong for that to happen. I'm not staring at top lane all the time, but that just doesn't seem right to me. Especially in the like Vladimir is just winning by this much. Wow. He even started Doran's ring. Like, there's not even like a Doran shield start. Vladimir, he straight up went ring and he's just killing off of Urgot. What is happening? Now Sylas did steal Cho'Gath's ultimate. Can he actually do anything here? Cho'Gath will flash away, taking Sylas' ignite with him. As long as Feast is still on the Sylas, Cho'Gath doesn't dare fight him. He outdamages in this scenario. Nautilus picks up his second kill here onto the Zillion. Bot lane's getting kind of clapped here. Oh, but Sylas, he was trying to get the nom off. Well, no, he didn't get the nom off. It was Cho'Gath who nommed him. He does die. But here comes Vlad. Vlad actually rolls his way down to such a huge chunk onto the Ashe. Oh, he has to be very careful here. The Vladimir does his Q up, but it's not going to be enough to kill. And now he's in the middle of everyone. That's probably a little bit too far extended for a very early game Vladimir. 1v3 is not something he can do for quite a long time. So he does die, unfortunately. And that's going to give Urgot some free time with his own tower. That's probably a little bit too disastrous for a Vlad. He just got set back by so much. He gave Urgot the CS edge kind of back. Urgot went from heavily losing to essentially tied. Lee Sin is actually stole away the Elise's blue buff during this whole thing, so it's not a total wash. But that was way too much of an overdive coming out from the Vlad. He's just now strutting his way back to lane. And Urgot has already secured a CS lead. That solo queue still happened, but still very favorable for the Urgot in this particular moment. He doesn't finish off that plate. Warthog and Dragon's Rage is going to kick him into the wall. Now he has to try to get out, but the hook is coming in. He does get hooked. He grinds up the Lee Sin into fine paste. The fear will drive the Vladimir away, and that's going to secure Urgot's escape. The jungler just came in and fed him Elise's buffs and his own red. Oh no, and now this is a double buff Urgot. I mean, who has the Vlad got to blame here? He went bot when he really shouldn't have. Well, like, okay, going bot was not the wrong play, but overdiving there definitely was. Miss Fortune dies yet again. Forced death already. She has more death than her entire team has kills. Vladimir does have a plate lead still, and he did go for the very, very standard build. that for some reason nobody in solo queue does, even though it is objectively the best build. Why do people not do this? It is just do this, it's so good. Kindle Gem Codex start, and then you finish your items. CDR is everything to a Vladimir. If you can't get 45% by level 12, you are not effective. Unless you are so fat that CDR doesn't matter, you can burst him in one round. But for a champion like Vladimir, you do need more speed. Feast is not gonna get it! This Kingslayer heals up Silas, and Cho'Gath doesn't kill him off with the Nom. The Stolen Hijack doesn't give Silas a stack either, but that's totally fine, honestly. Oh, yeah, Urgot resigns to fate. That's more what I expected will happen, and that's a beautiful Kingslayer. Buying some time for the Silas. He still dies to the Lee Sin. But he's gonna get cleaned up here. Excellent anchor, and Elise picks it up. 2-0 and 1. Elise and Nautilus, the only two members in this game that hasn't died yet. Roll mid and pick up a beautiful kill on the jungler. And here comes the Urgot. He's level 9. That is level 5 purge. He doesn't ever have to turn that off. Now he just sits there and let it go to town on the tower. He's going up against quite a few plates. So killing off the minions here is probably the right call. And then gets set to work on the tower and just sit there and wait. He's going up against so many plate armor. This tower is now incredibly tanky. Like, look at it. 155 armor? That's pretty high. So he's just gonna call it off, but he does shred that tower to all but one plate. That's very encouraging for an Urgot. So if we took a look at the goalie now, yep, he's so much more ahead of the Vlad. Now Vlad working on his first M tome, and he picks up Dark Seal.
Shut down.
Oh, a shutdown in the river actually. Let's rewind 15 seconds and see that. I was shocked at the Dark Seal, so they're gonna do Herald here. The Pew Pew machine gun coming in, and the Lee Sin does walk in, but they might be underestimating. Nope. The Feast will kill it off. Urgot can't win that fight really. Lee Sin, though, the resonating strike not gonna connect. Sonic Wave just completely whiffs. Here comes Vladimir though. They want to finish this off. Elise, can she finish off the Herald? I think she got it. Yep, she picks it up, but Vladimir kills her off, and now Silent has to be on the run. He does have hijack. Yes, he does have hijack. He hijacks Hemoplague and throws it back around. Kingslayer heals him up. Now he's going on to the Cho'Gath. The Hemoplague will pop and kill him off. And now it's just a 1v1. Vladimir, he does have the Empower's Transfuse, but isn't enough. Can he get away from Silas? He pulls away, but Chain Lash is going to land some slows. He does walk away. It costs him his own flash, but meanwhile, bot lane Zillion ults himself to try to stay alive. Ash Frost Shots landing onto Ash. No, wait. Ash Frost Shots landing onto MF, not Ash. Excuse me. Zillion walks away with his life. He has to flash away. Vladimir walks away with his life, but he also has to flash away. Decent series of events. I'm intrigued why Vlad win for Dark Seal. You can't possibly be that confident in yourself, right? Why go Dark Seal when you don't have potions? Are you anticipating to 10 stack it at some point this game? That's a very ballsy call. With 350 gold, you could do so much else. Like, buy 2 wards. That's better than buying a Dark Seal with no potions in your inventory. They are gonna get into a fight here. Urgot does have the ultimate. If he lines it up, he could connect, maybe? He's gonna sell with that tower. Rift Herald gets dropped bottom lane. It takes out the first tower of the game. That's gonna send blue team into a pretty healthy gold lead. Hijack not yet available. Now he's fighting against the Cho'Gath again. Chain Lash, he's decidedly winning this trade. Glacial Augment GLP gonna slow him down. Anchor connects onto the Lee Sin. The stun gets followed up. And now the Lee Sin has to try to safeguard away to stay alive. Ash Arrow was not up. It just now comes up. It's not in time to actually do anything. The Urgot off. Whiffs. It goes wide. But he's still going in anyway. Hemoplague is done. And Power Transfuse is gone. He's got nothing left to defend himself. Urgot, his W is off cooldown. He can't toggle it. Ooh, flash blown for no reason. He got pretty antsy there by the end. Probably a little bit too hypey and blew his flash. But as long as the bully can still continue, Zillion dies during Enchanted Crystal Arrow. Oh, this is such a close fight. Empowers suck. Heals Vlad up. And now Urgot has to run. Lee Sin is here. Sonic Wave gets juked out. Beautiful sidestep. But now he gets slowed off by the Tempest. Can he go? He's turning on the W, but that's not the right call here. W slows you. So Urgot overstays and overdives and dies for it. Punished by the jungler. And now this top lane, it has admittedly been pretty back and forth, and Vladimir somehow buys a dry Dark Steel and gets 4 stacks on it. That's just, I mean, that's just sloppy, honestly, from blue team. They should have punished this way harder. He does have Proto Belt finish, so now he's working on Zhonya's next. He should also finish tier 2 boost at some point. Dragon's Rage. Oh, but it's going to connect on the blue buff. Lee Sin does take it away. Is Elise still going to go for it? There's a Vlad on the side. Blast Cone comes down. Elise finds herself in a 2v1, but it's rapidly turning into a 2v3. Cocoon goes right in. Power Transfuse not there. But the Hemo Plague on top of Dragon Rage kills her off. Red team kills off Elise and walks out through the back. But the Urgot ultimate snipes out the Vladimir in the brush, dragging him back, grinds him up, and all those seals evaporate, going back down to 1 stack. He finishes his boost, the correct buy here. But man, that Dark Seal just puzzles me. Oh, Nautilus is gonna solo ult here. There's no allies near him, and now Urgot not coming in against the Cho'Gath. Cho'Gath is gonna land some damage onto the Nautilus. Nautilus is squishy. Lee Sin is out of range. And now Nautilus gets eaten alive by the Cho'Gath. Lee Sin walks away as well. A very overzealous Dark Charge. Silas steals bullet time. Kingslayer will land the damage. The bullet time, not enough to kill the Misfortune. The angle is a little bit off. Misfortune flees with her life, but hasn't found her first kill yet. Silas is staying for this dragon. This might be an overstay. He's gonna dash away. He's not gonna abduct back in. He's gonna give this back to the Lee Sin. Lee Sin will take it. 3, 3, and 5. I mean, if Vladimir has excess income, drop some pink words. You can afford it. Don't buy a Dark Seal. Like, sell that seal for some words. That's more useful. He does go for the large rod, so he's going Spellbinder over Zhonya's Hourglass. A very interesting pick here. Spellbinder is the squishier but much more higher damage route. It does take a considerable time for a Spellbinder to ramp up, but when it does, it gives him an appreciable amount of burst. It's not like he's lacking burst now. He definitely has the damage. Oh, Flash Abduct not gonna find him, but Chain Lash slow will land. Silas is still slowly running down the Misfortune. He's 2 levels above her, but can't seem to find this kill. Dredgeline lands onto a minion. Ashe gets Sonic waved out. Now they're gonna lay siege to this tower. With multiple members from both sides now collapsing onto this lane. They want to fight here. Ashe is going to take 1 tower shot, and Vlad comes in from the side. Flash in, Empowered Tides of Blood, and Hemo Plague. Ashe is so dead. Bullet time gives Misfortune her first kill on the last 5 HP that Ashe had remaining on her. Good flank by the Vladimir, honestly. Oh, here comes Elise, cocooning out the Lee Sin on the side. The Dragon's Rage kicks her back and follows up with the Resonating Strike. The Nautilus will be the first victim here. Zillion revives his ally. And now Lee Sin pops back up. So far, 3 members dead in total. Urgot has to try to run away, and he's kiting back in the big crab form. But the Purge is not enough to kill it off. 4-for-0 teamfight. A disastrous turn of events for blue team. That lead they accrued is rapidly being turned around. In fact, with this tower fallen, it will be entirely reversed. And now red team will hold the lead. 400 gold ahead. And with that tower, honestly, the momentum is also shifted, because that tower is the mid outer. It's so important for map pressure. But speaking of map pressure, here comes the Silas. He's going to try to go for it. The Feast doesn't connect onto the Vladimir before he pulls away, so he's totally fine. Silas blew so much of his damage, but he was hesitant. He didn't commit Ignite. He didn't immediately commit Feast. I think he was questioning whether or not he could kill the Vlad. It turns out he very well could, but by the time he figured that out, he's already given him enough time to pull away. I think he could have committed way more damage way faster, but I think he was unsure if he could actually kill him. And now he face checks into 4. He has to be driven away immediately. Enchanted Crystal Arrow nails onto the Zillion, and the Depth Charge is also committed. But that's all of their ultimates seemingly whiffed, and now the team fight starts proper. Nautilus is the first victim. Dragon is still pounding all of blue team, and they can't possibly fight this. They're totally routed. Elise is in Zion's in the Dragon Pit, and Urgot is outside. There's 3 members left alive on blue team. None of them are combat ready. They have to try to get out of there. They word it out just to see red team take it from their eyes. 2 for 0. Yet again, a positive team fight for red team. Vladimir getting very rapidly up there. 10 stacks on his Dark Seal. It's just a cruel mockery. That is such an arrogant item that wasn't punished, and now he gets to show it off and flaunt it in front of blue team's face. The period of time in which Vladimir is decently weak has more or less ended. He is sitting now at what should be 45% CDR. Oh, 42. Close enough. Oh, it will scale up to 45 because he does have the CDR. Minor keystone. No, not minor keystone. What's that called? Minor stat, I guess, on the first roll. So he will eventually scale to 45 without needing to build anymore. But building more from this... What? Okay, so it's not going to Spellbinder. He just gets a cap, straight up. So then his next item is probably Zonius. Yikes, that's actually making him so much scarier. And he can justify this item build, because right now he's actually fed. Like, he can definitely erase people with this. Even with just a rod, he was erasing the Ashe in one combo, and this is just gonna make it even easier. So last time I casted the Vlad, which actually was yesterday, I was doing some math live on air. The first set of math was actually wrong because I forgot the way that reductions were applied. But the second set of calculations I did, which I'm pretty sure is valid, but I did that live without a calculator, so I'm pretty sure the numbers are a little bit off here and there. But I did conclude that with just Sword Shoes penetration on top of Weight Staff, you can just reduce carries down to essentially either single digit or close to single digit MR. And from there, the rest of your kit is just so much damage. Now granted, the Vlad hasn't gone for Weight Staff. He's pretty far away from that. He still needs to finish a few more items before there. But with Dark Seal, that's an entirely different story. If he actually commits to Magi Soul Stealer this game, which, to be honest, is objectively pretty horrible, but it's going to be the ultimate flex move if it happens. He does solo kill the Urgot up top and immediately pays for it. So many seals lost. He's going to go back to 6 seal stacks. Oh, he does go for it. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh, Vladimir. Committed to it. He went for the Magi's after dying. What a mad lad. But speaking of, red team wins another skirmish bot, and they're gonna kill off the mid lane bot lane outer turret. The Sonic Wave does land. Resonating Strike connects back. Lee Sin's gonna juke it out. Ashe arriving a little bit too late, expecting to find Lee Sin in her jungle, but he's already dashed away. So he's totally fine. Man, blue teams just can't catch a break around this mid-game phase. They're being outmaneuvered at all turns around the map. And slowly, all that early advantage are being bled away, and eventually they'll have nothing left. How do you fight red team in this state? Ashe is gonna get jumped down by the Lee Sin. The flying in is true. Oh, he does get dragged back, but that's not a kill. Zilean is saving him, and Ashe dies with the Zilean bomb. Lee Sin does flash away, no casualties. Yet again, blue team just can't find a target. Lee Sin makes it out, and they lose Urgot, they lose Ashe. Baron is up. 25 seconds left on their AD carry for blue team. Can they contest this? If red team just goes for it, I don't think blue team can run in there. Their team is just not built to do that. They'll be running face first into a bullet time. Granted, Misfortune's not fed, but they can't funnel into that anyway. Now Silas has to be careful. He's way underestimating the Vlad's damage output. Yeah, he's realizing now this Vladimir is an animal. He can't really be contested with Kingslayer first, which also means he's run out his damage. Hemoplate comes down. It's stolen from Silas, but it's not enough. The minor healing not enough to get him away. 4 members collapse onto him and takes his life. Dragon spawning in 30, and now they're gonna turn for Baron? No, they're gonna linger in blue team jungle. Misfortune gets cocoon now. The crystal arrow flies wide. Ashe times it out a little bit too early, I guess. The bullet time is gonna finish off. The Zilean bomb kills off the Nautilus. This has been like 10 kills to 0 over the past sequence of events. Red team went from like 11 kills to 21 and they haven't lost a body. This mid game has not favored blue team at all. There's just a total lack of cohesion. A lot of times it's a carry going frontline solo mission getting picked off early, or just some sort of ill-advised trade or skirmish where someone thinks they can make a pickup. Actually, that's not true. They did kill off the Vlad, so it's not like 10 kills to 0. They did kill off the Vlad once, but that's not entirely an impressive thing to be showing off. Elise gets caught out in her own jungle. This is just the problem they're exhibiting. They're just being caught out solo over and over. This is not the playstyle you want to do. And here comes the second kill in a long time. Ashe kills off the Lee Sin. The Vladimir though makes his way into the backline. Ties of Blood kills off the Elise. And Hemoplague pops, killing off the Nautilus as well. Urgot is solo. He will die. No, not Urgot. Vladimir solo. He will die along with the Ashe. And now Urgot is chasing. He's chasing after the rest of the team. These are the last 2 living members of Red Team. The Abscond Abduct does miss, but the Chain Lash does not. Miss Fortune is slowed down, but she has the Zilean ultimate. More slows are coming. Zilean also timing out, but they ran out of damage and they ran out of dashes. So Red Team at least makes it out with 2 people. That was a 3 for 3. Considering how badly the blue team has played over the past, let's say, 10 minutes, they'll take it. The 3 for 3 is an even team fight, which benefits them because they just drop so many shutdowns. Red team just dropped so many shutdowns to them in that team fight. Critically though, Vladimir lost a ton of stacks. He was supposed to be sitting at 22 glory stacks, which is just scary. You should at least keep him off 10 glory. They need to kill him again, because there's a 10% bonus movement speed, which can't be underestimated. That's so useful on Vladimir as well. Urgot's gonna get caught out. The bomb not there to kill him off. The Misfortune will. This Misfortune, when you're really underfed 80 carries getting kills, you know that something has gone very right for your team. That being said, this Misfortune is still nowhere near as she needs to be. Nowhere near as fed, I mean. This is still gonna be a siege. Misfortune does get hooked out. The Dredge Line Depth Charge connects onto Zarya, so nothing happens. Hemoplague onto the Ashe. Ashe needs to be careful. There's so much damage waiting to come out. That Hemoplague chunks out a third of her health with ease. The Kaname, one more shot does kill off the tower. So mid lane, they do lose that T2 after a prolonged siege. But luckily, no one died on either side. There's only two Barons remaining on blue team, on red team I mean, and they're both on their weakest members. MF Zilean, but Zilean can always keep someone up. At least Nautilus going from deathless to highest death on the team, or almost highest death. It's a far cry, and it's a testament to how badly the game has gone in very recent times. Excellent Dragon Rage knocking off the Elise, but Lee Sin's gonna trade his own life for it. The Abduct does come in onto the Vladimir. Zarya at the same time as the Zilean all being applied to him. He is going to start respawning, and now he pulls away on the respawn. He's totally fine. No death. And they need to kill him. They desperately need to try to find a way to kill off this Vlad. He can't be allowed to live for that much longer if blue team wants a way back into the game. But Zilean gave him a second life, and that's honestly all he needed. Zarya's was blown, and Zilean was blown. Zilean not being blown doesn't matter, it's already like back up. If the cooldown on it is so incredibly short. What is the cooldown? Look at that, it's up! 40 seconds for a GA, that's too much. Raise that crap. No, it's probably fine. Really, this is a terrifying Vladimir. He went for such a greedy build. Death Capper for Zarya's and Soul Stealer after getting killed. Like, these things should be punished, but they're not being punished. Blue team just has much poorer map rotation than red team, and they're being outmaneuvered in these fights. But as long as the game stalls out, as long as the game is still going passively, at least blue team has a chance to stabilize. Stabilizing against a Vlad is weird. Technically, you always have the tools to shut them down on blue team. They do have the CC, they do have the lockdown capabilities, but you're still fighting. You're still fighting a Cho'Gath. You're fighting a Lee Sin that's actually pretty freaking strong as well. And this super flat Vladimir, and any one of those could just be given a second life. You can't possibly engage on anyone that's not their front line, because their front line is such a terrifying threat right now. They are gonna find the arrow onto the Cho'Gath, then the Lee Sin gets cocooned up. He is gonna go in, but the bullet time through the entirety of blue team. It's doing absolutely no damage, but it doesn't even matter. Blue team's dropping like flies against the Vladimir. Vladimir's gonna get a triple kill. He's gonna flash over, instantly burst down the Ash for a quadra. He wants his 5th kill. They're gonna speed out the Misfortune. They're gonna try to slow down the Sylas, make it rank connects for some slows. Misfortune going guns blazing in. She's gonna flash in aggressively. They want to throw everything at the Sylas for some reason. Vladimir, the only reasonable person, is still doing Dragon. Misfortune does turn around now. And now it's just a support Zilliant. He does commit Chrono Shift. Chrono Shift is already committed, so he has to be careful. He could get bursted. Not like it really matters. Really, Lee Sin was the only victim of that fight. Oh my gosh, Vladimir so fast. He's at 25 stacks. The Kingslayer are gonna buy him a little bit of time. The healing reduction, not there. Vladimir, Zhonya's golden modes, and he's gonna get out of there. The Empower Transfuse keeping him alive. 25 stacks now. He's reached a dream state. Not to mention, Haunting Guys. I mean, sure, why not? Man, it's just an incredibly powerful buff on Vladimir as well, because he will be in combat for that long. He's terrifying. He is. He truly, truly is. This game is a shining example of why I really hate playing against Vladimir. I genuinely believe that he's the strongest champion in the game, in the late game scenario. And he's so strong that it's almost obscene. I recognize I do say that was a ton of bias and probably vehemency from myself, because I genuinely do not like playing against them. So it's not entirely founded with facts or stats or anything, but I just despise Vladimir in late game when he's not on my team. Especially when one that got going and basically had all the resources in the world to work with. He's not full build. He's full build now. Like, Jesus. Oh, Enchanted Crystal Arrow is gonna catch onto the Misfortune, but she's totally fine. And that's her CC gone. Lee Sin has to be careful. GA is taken out now. Urgot lands the ultimate, but it's not enough. Cho'Gath gets a solo kill with the feat. Zillion on the side is going to be picked off. He's the first victim of this skirmish. But is it really a skirmish when Vladimir's top and Cho'Gath is bot, and there's pressure being applied to both sides? Which side do they help? They're going to split off? No, they're going to try to fight the Vlad. I think he's the stronger of the two. Nautilus will try to at least tank him for a little bit. That Tides of Blood doesn't connect onto the Ash, so she's still fine for now. But they're still beating back a bunch of Baron minions, which is a pretty tall ask. Especially with a giant scary vampire at their back. Here comes the Sylas. He's gonna try to do something. He comes in. Hemoplague gets dropped on the Misfortune, but he immediately dies to the Vladimir damage. And Vladimir is back. He's turning it around. Tides of Blood killing off everybody. Lee Sin comes in from the back. Teleport as well, surrounding the Ash from all sides. That is easily gonna be the game here. The respawn timers are just too long. It's just too much. They can't stop the Vladimir. He's too strong. He's just taking everybody. That's like a 1200 damage Q. What was that? That's just obscene. And structures collapse like dominoes and the game will end. Crumbling down in ruin.